I remember taking French, and I got to like, I was always good at like writing it, but I was horrible at reading it.
Oh, really?
So I'd always like revert to like, I'd be in grade 9 and I'd
Mhm.
revert to like words from grade 4, grade 5.
Oh my.
And then
Well,
I
that's a
saw
lot better than me.
on the door to the grade 10 French exam, it said oral interview. And I'm like, nope, I'm
No.
out.
Yeah,
My
pass.
French
See
days
you
are
later.
over.
Yeah, that's the, oh man, I don't know. For me, it was grade 9. That was it. I couldn't even read, right? Like it was nothing. I was so bad
Yeah.
at I don't know. I just couldn't. I don't have like the accent too. It's like non-existent for me.
No. Anyway, we just got started here. Welcome back to the Caribou Media Outdoors podcast. I'm here with Dan Ferchat from Outdoors. Dan, how's it going?
Yeah. Hey, it's going great, man. Thanks for
Good.
having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I always think back to when I first ran into people, and you stuck out in my mind because
Mm.
it was your bear video from 3 years ago,
Oh, really? Yeah.
and you were like from the ground, no tree stand, no ground blind,
Yeah.
standing like next to a rock, and you're like 16 or 20 yards away from this bear. And I remember
Yeah.
watching him like, oh my God, what is he doing? Because I'd always been up in a tree, right? And then
Mhm.
just seeing you so comfortable just on the ground like that and just being so close, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah, that was cool. That was the last time I shot a bear too. So it's been a couple of years, but that was a fun time. That was like my first real film hunt that I did. So or self film, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. That was epic. I actually that bear meat I used for my wedding too. So I served
Oh,
it.
no way. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we had a backyard wedding here at our property, and it was like, yeah, I got this bear like 300 yards away, and so that was a cool story. It's cool,
Oh,
something cool to add.
yeah, that's wicked. Yeah,
Mhm.
and death moan and everything. It's pretty
Yeah,
epic.
I know. I hit it. I got her right in the heart too. So that was a crazy shot. Lucky, probably, most likely, but yeah, smoked her. She just ran up the hill. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
died. I mean, 20 yards away, not even. So it's exactly what you want. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, when you're bow hunting and a shot. So, um, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
first as bears are always been a special spot for me because my first hunt I did with a bow was for a bear.
Mm-hmm.
My first year, I just bought this compound and climb up the ladder stand I got for Christmas. Like everything was new, right? And I get up there, and I was on a family member's property. They had 300 acres out near Algonquin Park, and
Mm-hmm.
I was there for like an hour, and there was a river just in front of me, and I heard like splashing through the river, and I thought there's a beaver out there, so I thought it was the beaver messing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard, soft footsteps. Something's coming closer. I was like, oh my God. So I grabbed the bow off the hanger and I'm getting ready, and out walks this bear. And it was like the first time I'd seen a bear like that close in the wild, right? And it just
Yeah, they're
like
so cool.
he was just there's something about being that close,
Yeah.
as bow hunters that we are. We get really, really ridiculously close sometimes, and you get to see so many things. And he was coming into a barrel that we had baited there, and literally was like took 3 steps, stood up like on his hind legs, put his nose in the air, and like whoop, looped around, went back down. He's like, nope, started walking out, and I had like a window. Once he reached this tree, it was going to be game over.
Yeah.
And I took a shot, and of course it was my first time shooting from an elevated position, so I shot him too high. He took off running, runs past the tree, arrow snaps off. So I want to say there was 11 inches of the arrow that was on the ground, and
Oh, really?
the rest was inside of him. And
Oh, no way.
he took off running. Like lighted knock, blew up, everything. No
Huh.
blood, no blood whatsoever. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm thinking, please go down, please go down. I'm trying to listen for him crashing, and you can just hear him like
just bucking it, eh? Yeah.
Bucking it, right? And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds really far. And then I was like, well, I know you're supposed to wait, but I can't. So I climb down, I go look, get the arrow.
Yeah.
And then I kind of crouched down because where he went in, it was so thick with like alders and stuff. You could see tunnels where the bears had made all these tunnels through. And I'm like, I am not going in there.
Yeah.
Until I go tell somebody at the camp what just happened.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the arrow. It had blood and hair on it, but like no blood anywhere else. We came back, we searched for a bit, and then it got dark. So the guy who owned the property was like, we're not doing this. We're not going after a bear that's potentially wounded in the dark. We go back to the camp, and then the argument starts. So there was 4 of us up there. I was just like, I'm not saying anything because I'm new to this game, right? And a couple of the guys just went at it, like, we need to go get this thing. Like, because at the time when I was shooting at home on level ground, I was shooting pretty good, out to like 60 yards. I was pretty happy with myself, right? And they had seen some of the videos that I did, and they're like, that's a dead bear. Let's go. And I was like, oh, we're not going in the dark. Yes, we are. They start arguing. So then 2 of them leave. And then he looks at me. He's like, don't you want to find your bear? And I'm like, well, yeah. So I follow him. And then the guy who owns the place is like, you guys are stupid. You don't go after a bear in the dark, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
So we go back. We look for a little bit. Can't find anything. So we came back in the morning, searched for another like 4 hours or so, and he was gone. So the first animal I ever connected with a bow and arrow, or anything for that matter, that was the first I never found. So,
oh man, that's tough to swallow. I have a similar story. My first compound bow, shot attempt, same, was on a bear. It was on a bear in the fall, and I thought, I had a good shot. I was on the ground, and it seemed like a good shot to me. Like, I don't know, I found my arrow, good blood on it, and just couldn't pick up the blood. Like, it was in the fall, so maybe it's like just more fat was absorbing all the blood. But same thing, just let it be for the night. Went back in the morning, and just I could not follow it. It actually ended up being coming back up on the cam like another couple weeks after. So I was gonna punch my tag, and I was just gonna be like, hey, that's my bear. I feel bad wounding it, not knowing if it was still alive and whatever. And it actually ended up showing, you could see like where the cut was, and I was using a Rage mechanical broadhead. I think it was the chisel tip or something, and I think at just the way I hit the shoulder or something like that. Anyways, so the bear lived.
So then for a while, I kept saying to myself, like, I've got the arrow still in my garage, and I'd be like, every time I draw back, I'd say, like, be better than the bear, to kind of, and then I started shooting off a ladder at home into the target, practicing at that level. And it's awesome.
It's awesome. And that's the joy of it. It's the roller coaster, man. It's all the ups and downs. And then when you do connect and you have that special moment, it's nothing beats it. And, that's why we shoot all year. That's why we practice for those moments. And even if, like, you could practice every day and you could be the best shot, but once it comes down to crunch time, something could happen. You could be just, off your game, and you can make a decent shot or something, and then the animal just reacts differently. That's what happened to me this past fall for whitetail. But that was tough too.
So when did you first get into archery, and how did that kind of transition into bow hunting for you?
As a kid, I can't remember the exact age, but so I'm from like the city area, but we've had this cottage in the area where I live right now. And so we would go up all the time. My dad was a hunter, and he introduced me to archery. We would just have like little toy bows type of stuff, and like, nothing crazy. And so we would shoot like little hay bales and all that. And it wasn't until probably later, when I was like 18, 19, when I started looking at the hunting seasons and being like, like, archery season goes a little longer. Like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I can, hunt till in my area, it's like December 15th. I'm like, man, I can start October. You know, I was in university, so I had a reading week, but that was in middle of, or was it middle? Yeah, it was like Thanksgiving area time period. So I was like, okay, perfect. I got reading week off. That's a week of hunting. Yeah, sign me up. So I used my dad's crossbow for a bit, and then my buddy encouraged me. Like I think it was like a year or two after that, he bought a bow, and he's like, dude, you gotta shoot bow, like compound bow. It's unbelievable. So yeah, so probably about, that'd be like 20-ish. That's when I started like, shooting compound bow, and that's all I've been shooting ever since.
2020?
So I was 20 years old, so I would have been 20
years old. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, 2014, I guess.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
30
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same, kind of did it at a young age with like the fiberglass little $30 thing from Canadian Tire, right? And then went on the archery team in high school, and we weren't very good, but we had fun, right? And then
that's all that matters.
friend from the archery team calls me up. He's like, I just got back from Bass Pro. I bought a compound. These things are wicked. So then I go in, and I remember I can't believe I'm saying this, but I remember going in and looking at them and be like, oh, look, they've got 3 strings in case one of them breaks. Because I had no idea how they worked, right? I was always a traditional guy, right? And it's like, oh, dummy. No, they're connected. They're all connected. So
all cams.
Eventually picked up my first compound, and like that was it. I'm like, this is I'm doing this forever.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Wow, that's so cool. That's that's a cool story, man. Like, so how long have you been shooting for?
So I got first introduced to it when I was like 7, but that doesn't really count. Like, I'm not religiously doing it until I'd say when we moved to the country, from the suburbs to the country to a farm in 2014. And then everybody up here's a hunter, and nobody in my family does it. My wife's cousin, he's a hunter. So when I started, the wheels started turning, and there's a cattle farm down the road that sells organic grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So we got some of that, and I remember eating it. It was like, this tastes better than the stuff at the grocery store. What does everything else that eats like this taste like, right? So then kind of get the wheels turning. He invites me up to the camp. I go up with a rifle, and I'm sitting in the tree stand, and he's like, just sit there, don't move, be quiet. When it gets dark, come out. So I liked being there, but I didn't have that connection to the gun. Not because I don't like rifles, because I have rifles, but for that purpose, it wasn't clicking for me until I brought up the bow the following year. And it was like, this makes sense. Right?
This makes sense. Yeah. It's so cool, man. Yeah. Archery changed everything for me too. Just like the interaction with not just the animal you're trying to pursue, but just wildlife, right? Like you just look at things differently. You're ranging all the different trees around you to see distances, checking those things. And then you're looking at squirrels, and you're looking at other stuff that, because you're just so into it, so involved. At least I find with bow hunting, like, not to say that you're not like that with rifle, but you can kind of get away with a little bit more with rifle hunting, from longer distances. But for bow hunting, it's like you got to be pretty in tune with your surroundings.
Yeah, and just like getting in there early in the morning, dark, and you're being quiet. You get up in the tree stand or your saddle or whatever, and you get settled, and then you just wait, and you've disturbed some things. There's some animals that are going to know that you're there, but then everything just kind of, there's that period of time where everything just kind of comes back down to how it was before you got there. That's pretty cool, and to be like a witness to that, it's awesome. It's just the whole thing, the whole package,
the whole thing, man. It's it's so cool. It's life changing, to be honest. I never thought something would impact my life so much more than archery and bow hunting, for that matter. And it's like, I don't know. That's just what I can, identify myself as, if you want to say, is like, like, what do you do? I'm just a bow hunter. I'm an outdoorsman. That's that. And it's like archery has just driven that passion so much.
Yeah. So how did the YouTube thing start for you? What made you want to do that?
actually don't really know how that started. It was, I think I was just at a spot where I just wanted to share some of my stories, and I was doing so I had a personal page, and then before this Outdoors Dan, and I would post some things and stuff, but I just thought I could draw the connection or separate it, I guess, from like personal sort of life and then just strictly outdoors. So I started doing that, and then just started to here and there, like, I should post some videos, at least try to do that. I want to film some hunts so I can maybe throw them up on there. And no real meaning, I guess, behind it, but just kind of wanted to do it for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there were two reasons for me. I wanted to see that footage if I had it, which I didn't at the time, of me hitting that bear, because we kept going back. Where did the arrow go? You kind of black out for a minute, and it's like, I think what made the most sense was he was kind of quartering away, so it went in and hit the offside shoulder.
Okay.
And got stuck there. But it would have been nice to see that, right? And then I was going to YouTube a lot to look up things. Like, I wanted to get a camera arm for the tree, and I remember going to one video and I couldn't really see what the guy was talking about, and like the audio wasn't very good, and he was in one corner of the room and his camera was in the other, and I was like, I think I just want to do my own spin on this thing. I want to make it so that I'm showing you things like up close. You almost feel like you can touch it, and just kind of put my whole spin on it. So it's just been
you got some good views too. Like, you got some
adventure from there.
Yeah, man, you got some good videos. Like, and you're pumping the content. I love it.
I'm trying. This is gonna help too. I kind of felt like I was pigeonholing myself into, here's another backpack, right? Like, I wanted to kind of get out and talk about more than just stuff and gear and stuff. So
I like this. This is great.
I think this has been great because like, I've reached out to a lot of people, and just straight through Instagram, just sending messages to every kind of person you could think of, and some I didn't think I'd hear back from, and some said yes. And it's been great. So
that's awesome. We'll keep doing it, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's been working out. So far so good. You got a new bow in the mail, or maybe the other day, your PSE. Tell us about that.
Oh man, it's like Christmas time on steroids in a way. But it's so cool. So I haven't set it up, haven't shot it, just kind of admired it for a bit. But excited. Got the new PSE. Oh man, and it's freaking sweet. I love the pattern on it. It's like that nice like buckskin sort of color. I think they call it a tan color, but it's sweet. It's I'm 70 pounds, and just probably set it up this week. Fires up some shots, but I don't know how these bows can get any better. Like, I don't get it.
Every year I wonder, what are they going to do? How can they, like, there's such little that's probably left for them to make them amazing, and then they just come out with it's almost, I almost wish they skipped a year, like, put out a bow, take a couple of years, and then put out something that's got even more to it than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sure they would still make, like, still have the same sales, and still have the same people being encouraged to buy it and all that. Like, because sometimes, you do find, some of the bows are kind of the same every single year. They're somewhat a little bit better, but they're still relatively the same. And then every now and then they make a big jump,
make a bigger jump,
a bit different cam or different riser. But I'm excited, looking forward to this one, and it's gonna be fun.
Is it the Mach 34? Is that the one you
it's the Mach 33.
33, sorry.
Yeah, 33. So that's the 2025 bow that they got. So I was shooting the Mach 34 this past year, and I mean, it's like amazing bow. I love it. It's like I never had more confidence in a bow, to be honest. It's like you were just one in a way, where you just like, you're gonna make a good shot, and when you feel good, with your bow, with your equipment, you'll just shoot so much better.
Confidence is everything, right?
Yeah, it's everything. So I still like it. So I might do some things where I might make my Mach 34 just more like a target bow, just light. That's a good idea. Yeah, just a bunch of reps I can just send through, and then I'll have the Mach 33 for a hunting rig, and yeah.
And that the 34, you set it up like, was it 1 or 2 shots and you had a bullet hole?
Yeah. Oh, it was insane. Yeah, it was like right out of the box, set this thing up, and it has that easy 220 the clip system. You know, we can exchange the clips, and you can move the cams over, you can shim them over, but I didn't even need to touch it. It was like I just took a shot, and I think I just had to adjust I think it was just my rest, just a touch. Yeah. And it was golden. I was surprised. Like, that was easy. You know, sometimes, because it just takes a lot longer than what you think. Sometimes you're tinkering with some things. I'm still relatively, I'd say, new at bow building from the ground up. But,
yeah.
So that was perfect for me. It was like, that's
yeah, I think me too. I think we both got our easy green presses around the same time.
Yeah,
you got yours a little bit ahead of me, but yeah, the Ethos, that was the first one I've ever set up too. Mm-hmm. And now my kids want me to get theirs going because they've got the ones that are adjustable as they grow. So
that's cool. Yeah.
So they've done some growing, and I got to do some adjusting. But it's nice to have that right there. You know, you don't have to travel to go to a bow shop, and
you
just
it's just right in your backyard. And like for like a bow shop for me is about an hour away. And just from like all the stuff you can learn off of YouTube and everything online, like
it's all there.
It's all there. I've gone, like, not recently, but like before the bow press, I went to some bow shops, and they're great, but there's like certain things you're like, did they check this out? Did they do this? You know? So it's kind of like you can set your mind to ease with the nice bow shop. I want to get though a draw board. I don't have a draw board. And that's something that I feel like is the next add-on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little hook in my wall, and I just pull my bow down, and then I can just check out the cam tuning
to see. Yep. Yeah. And what about arrows? What kind of setup are you using for arrows? Do you stick to one company, or do you change it up, or what do you do?
Well, I just have the Easton Axis, the 5 mils, and they work great. Super simple. I just have 125 grain on the front, aluminum insert. I got 3 vanes on the back, and that's kind of it, man. Like, I don't know. I always listen to some podcasts where they talk about like so many different arrow setups and specifics and all this stuff. And like, one, it costs money. So that's one thing. It can get pretty pricey pretty quick. And, with marketing and everything, you're just like, man, I just want to buy all this stuff. And is it necessary? I don't know. So I've kept it relatively simple for my arrow setup the last probably a couple of years, 2 years. And I don't know. I think it works for me. A little heavier on the front with the 125 grain. I used to shoot 4 vane, but now I shoot 3 with more of a tight helical, or more of a helical, I guess.
Yeah.
And I thought I get a little more spin on it. I don't know. It seems to work.
Do you use a lighted knock?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I used to actually run a vane too. Or sorry, a wrap. I used to run a wrap on the back, and just like same sort of thing. Just costs money, time consuming. Just ripping these vanes. And like, I remember it was such a pain just taking off those wraps. Oh my god, they're such a pain.
Yeah.
So I've changed it up.
The marketing is great because, like, I'm a sucker for it, just like everybody else. Every year you start seeing the videos come out, and you're like, oh, I want to buy a Matthews. Oh, I want to buy a Hoyt. Oh, I want to buy the Prime. I want to, it's just like, stop showing me this stuff. It's all too good. It's all too good.
The site that you just picked up, the Proof. Oh my god, that site just looks
sick.
Sick, man. Yeah, like that is like, I'll take 5. Let's go. Like,
it's awesome. I'm actually doing the other second and third. I wanted to break it up because I'm like, no one's going to watch a 2-hour video of me setting this thing up. So,
I would.
Some people will, right?
That's for it. Let's go.
So I just did like the box opening thing, and then I'm going to do I'm putting it on tomorrow, and I'm going to do the sight tape as long as the wind doesn't go nuts around here, because I live in the middle of a cornfield, and once the corn comes down, I basically live in a wind tunnel for the rest of the year.
Oh, nothing's worse than you trying to set up a freaking bow and you got that gust of wind just knocking it over.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm dialed, and then you come out another day, and it's like, why am I missing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's true.
Yeah. So, whitetail. Were you hunting anything else this year, or was it just whitetail for you?
Just hunting some bears. Did some turkey hunting here and there. But those are pretty much the standard 3 for me. And then the odd. I mean, I went on a moose hunt last year. It was I only went for like 3 full hunting days. So, and that's nothing. I think for moose hunting, it was super hot too. But usually, I try to go for bear, turkey, whitetail. Try to do some small game.
Was it your moose tag, or were you going with somebody else? Or
Actually, I got a bull tag, an archery bull tag. Yeah. It was all the way up. My God, in WMU. Was it 18? Like up by Hearst. It was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a pretty far hike, and there was some stuff going on like in my personal life, and I was planning on doing like 5 full days of hunting and then whatever of traveling, 2 days of traveling or something.
Right.
But then anyway, some stuff came up, and luckily enough, I was able to squeeze out 3 full days, and we finally got onto some fresh sign the last day, and I was like, gotta go. So yeah, so it was just fun.
How many points did you have?
I think it was 6 points, and then because I'm a northern resident, I actually get 1 point more.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
trying
to figure the whole point thing out, because I'm finding like I'm hearing all kinds of wild stories. Some people have gotten tags with 0 points, some people with 4, somebody had 7. Like I guess it all depends on where you're applying to as well. If you're
I don't mind the new system, because I usually kind of apply by myself. I go hunting, moose hunting by myself, and it kind of gives me a better opportunity than guys who have like 15 or 20 in their group, for moose tag.
Oh yeah,
I have no chance.
No I don't really have an interest in that either.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's like I want to do my own thing and get out there. So I was saving up some points for a few years. I got it in the second allocation period. That's as my first choice. So I was like, I'll claim it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm always seeing them up near where my cottage is, which is in 50. So it's pretty.
Really? You have a cottage in 50?
Yeah, so it's a pretty decent. So it's a pretty decent area. So I'm thinking it's probably going to take me a while before I get. I got a place to stay if I got one.
Yeah, man, like that's crazy.
So it's.
I was talking to a local guy here, and he's like, and he was older, like 80 or something. He's like, I finally got a tag. He's like, 20 years. It took me. I was like, oh,
maybe
shit.
not.
That's I'll
keep applying up north.
Yeah, right. Well, it's insane. Like the moose. I mean, I would trade in all my tags hunting for the year if I could hunt moose in my backyard here. Like there's the amount of bulls and cows for that amount. Like it's insane. Like when I was out whitetail hunting, and this year there was 4 moose that just like 20 yards from me, two bulls fighting. I was messing around with them a little bit. I was doing some calling. And I noticed a doe was behind me. Actually, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta smarten up here."
Focus over here.
Yeah. I was like looking one way, doing some calling, and I'm looking over my shoulder, and this doe's creeping in. I was like, "Oh, damn." Okay, here we go.
Worked on her too.
I know. Yeah. That's actually kind of opened my eyes in a way that like she wasn't bothered by my moose calling at all, like doing some cow calls and stuff. Like she did not even look at me. I guess she was kind of focused in on the moose that were around, but it was actually kind of interesting.
How long have you been shooting at PSE? Was last year your first year?
No, it's 2021 or 2021, 22. I can't. Yeah, 21 or 22. Yeah, it's been a few years. Yeah, I shot the Levitate and then I shot the Mach 34, and then now the 33. Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, no, they're crazy, awesome bows, man. I love them.
Yeah, that company's been around they're one of the first, right? They've been around forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're sweet. I was shooting so my first bow was a Bowtech, and that was 2014 bow. Great bow. I mean, I would still shoot it today. Like, it's fantastic. It's super light. It's carbon, deadly accurate and consistent. And then just I kind of had a deal arranged with PSC, and then got the levitate, and I was like, holy shit, this is like a whole other ball game with these new bows.
That's amazing. That's awesome. How did that whole relationship come together?
It was just an email. I sent sent a PSC an email, and I just kind of told them who I was, and said, I think it's like kind of standard with it. Most people is like, hey, you guys doing any sort of pro staff or shooter staff? Just love to represent you guys. What you guys been doing has been amazing. And I think that's when John Dudley, or the year after John Dudley got acquired. And yeah, and I was like, man, you guys are awesome. Donnie Vincent, I think at the time he was shooting the Mach Stealth. Yeah, that was like a couple years beforehand. And I was like, man, PSC's got some sweet stuff coming. So yeah, just approached them, and I mean, most of the time you're not going to hear anything from these companies or whatever. And accurate. This guy reached out. We were shooting the shit, talking, and he's like, yeah, so we hooked something up, and
that's awesome.
I've been a part of them. Yeah, it's my third year being a part of PSC, and it's like, I don't know, it's been like almost like a dream come true in a way, which is like,
I'd say
so cool. Sure. It's amazing. And like, I still don't understand how it's like, yeah, it's just a cool opportunity. So
absolutely. Are you noticing changes as you go through year after year? The small, like, are they making any changes to the cams or anything like that you're noticing?
The cams have been the same. So on my Levitate, I shot the S2, and that was a little bit more aggressive of a cam. And then I switched to the EC2. The major things that I've noticed is just stuff changes with the riser. So they're being a little more compatible with like the Picatinny rails for the the direct mounts for the rests and the sights. This year, or I think they started last year with the Mach 30, they changed the riser guard. So they changed that. Okay. And so like the wheel guard. But yeah, I think like I think they're going to be preparing next year for a big jump. Yeah, they got to. There's been like relatively the same sort of risers for the last few years, and I think they'll make a jump next year.
And when they came out with those brass cams, it was like, oh, those look nice.
Yeah, they look sweet. Yeah, the gold. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the bows, they just look so sexy. Oh my god, there's some cool rigs out there.
Yeah. You said you were shooting Rage before, or are you shooting the same broadheads? Are you changing, or what?
I'm gonna be changing for this upcoming year, but I was shooting Crimson Talon broadheads. Yeah, I was shooting those for a while because they were a super cool company that just to kind of, I guess, not like work with in a way. And I ended up getting my hands on a pack when they had that contest like every Friday. I don't know what's happened to Crimson. I don't know if I haven't really been following along with them, so I don't know what they've been doing lately. But they had every Friday it was like a winner. So so I won a free pack of broadheads, shot them, reached out to them. I was like, man, if you guys have more, like, I'd love to test them out. And they sent me a bunch more. And I've been shooting those cleavers. I found those shooting real nice. So I think I'm going to switch though. I think actually because of your video, I'm going to switch to the Sevr broadheads.
Oh, the Sevr? Yeah.
Sevr broadheads.
Ridiculous. They are ridiculously good.
Yeah. Okay.
Just the way that you can you can put a screw in and lock the blades and use the same broadhead as your practice head.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. They fly like, I shot the field point, and then I shot every single one in the lineup around it, and it all was together. I'm like, well, done.
Yeah. What else do you,
incredible.
Yeah, what else do you need? And yeah, that's kind of what sold me, man, is seeing all these reviews on them, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, how can you not?
Yeah, the Crimson Talons are great because they're made of the tool steel. They're affordable. I helped with the prototype of the Croc, the that big one. So they sent me it when it was kind of in pre-production phase, and we're just like shoot it out to distance. Tell us if there's anything wrong with it. So I said, well, I'll do what I do all the time. I'll film it. I won't release it. I'll just give you the footage, and I'll tell you what I come up with. So I gave them some notes about it, and then a little while later they came out with it. From what I heard, I believe the owner had passed away, and I think
really?
his son took it over.
Oh,
I believe his son is taking it over now. I'm not sure. I haven't had any communication with them for a while, so just want to take a quick break to talk to you about a couple of things that I've been using that I think might benefit you. One is this Numa Outdoors gear. This is in their Kaza OV pattern, which is great whitetail pattern when you're up in a tree in the fall and late season. They also have a Kaza pattern which has more green in it, which is good for spring through to the fall. Numa has given me a code to give to you of Caribou Media 20, which will save you 20% at checkout. Another product here that I've been using for years now is the Bulldog targets. This is a Canadian made target. They're made in Manitoba. They have a lifetime warranty. I've used that warranty twice now on a couple of my larger targets that are outside. It's very simple, very easy. These targets are 2-finger removal every single time, which is incredible. Field point only target. Bulldog's been gracious enough to give me a 20% discount code to give to you at checkout. Use code BD20-Caribou-Media. That'll save you 20% on these awesome targets. Now back to the show.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
But that's
too bad.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Sevrs are great. You can't really go wrong. Like I shot the T2, the G5, the new one that Dudley did with G5. That thing is ridiculously good too.
Okay.
And
that looks like a Rage. It's like super similar, right?
Yeah. And it's nice how it's got the internal. You just clip the blades in. Like there's no like exterior collar system to it.
Yeah, that's
click,
like that no collar that Rage put out. They had like a no collar clip thing.
Yeah, it's
similar,
just,
I guess.
And the Beast, I shot some of that too. Like, I don't think you can go wrong. Like, I was always a fixed blade guy forever because you'd hear those stories. Oh, the mechanical didn't open up or didn't do this, and I was like, well, I don't want to take that chance. So I just immediately put them out of my mind, right? And I always shot fixed blades, and then you'd see people complaining about not having a very good blood trail or this or that. So this year I was like, okay, I'm going to give, mechanicals a try, and I wanted to do this video. So I reached out to some companies, and a lot of them wanted to be a part of it. So they sent me some stuff, and I was just like, you can't go wrong with any of these. Like, really.
Yeah.
The mega meats are fantastic. The dead meats are fantastic. Like, it's just, you almost can't fail.
I know.
Like these of them not opening, I think, are pretty much done. Like,
oh yeah, you see the guys, they're shooting big elk, big moose with them, and it's like, okay, if they can take down an elk with one of those, like whitetail here or black bear or whatever, it's like they're
and they're getting so technical now. Like with the Sevrs, they pivot, right? So once they lock open, they won't close on their own. And if they come across a dense object like a bone or something, the blades will swoop from one side to the other. So what happens is, if that happens, like if say you hit a rib, right?
Yeah.
The blade will swing to the other side, creating an even larger cut on that opposite side.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then it'll just swing back around. But yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Well,
I don't know who's coming up with this stuff, but they're smart people.
Engineers, man. Jeez.
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
It's never ending. Yeah, I think it really started to take a turn. Like, I always want to try shooting fixed blades, and I think I did it, and I I took a shot at doe this year. It didn't work out for me, but you know, I was like, okay, shot some fixed blades. They're shooting great and stuff. But I was like, I feel a little bit more confident. I've shot all my bears with mechanicals, and it's just like, I feel more confident with the mechanicals. And you see, like, you know, with social media and followings and stuff, like Cam Haynes, he was using fixed blades like his whole life, and it wasn't until recently where he's like, you see him with a mechanical, and you're like, bro, what are you doing? He was preaching fixed blades, and now he's a mechanical guy.
He's using that Carnivore. It's like a 4-blade that flips open. By Grim Reaper. I think I have. Hold on a second. So it's kind of like this. This is the whitetail special from Grim Reaper. And I've seen some footage some friends of mine have sent me with it, and it's just insane. Like, just the hole, it looks like you shoot a cannon through.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't imagine.
So it looks like this.
Oh my gosh.
And then the blades flip open like this.
Yeah, like that. That's gonna destroy anything.
Right?
Wow. Incredible.
And then it's almost like they're on a magnet. Like, they just, once they come back up, they just
snap in almost.
They just snap in on their own. It's pretty cool. So yeah, he's using that, but with a fourth blade on it.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be an elk in front of Cam.
Yeah, so after seeing the ballistics gel stuff I did, I was just like, I'm pretty well sold now. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, fixed blades are great too, but you can get a bigger hole with a mechanical.
Yep, absolutely. Now they're so durable. Like, the mechanics, they're so durable. So, you know, I'm not worried about a blade bending and stuff. Like, I don't know, some of the well, I've only really shot Rage mechanicals on bears, and they've worked. I mean, they worked fantastic. Like, big openings, big blood trails, and everything. You just felt like, man, this might be a little bit too flimsy, you know, like just coming right out of the package. And so I'm excited to get my hands on some like proper mechanicals.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with those Sevrs. And there's they've got the 1.5, 1.75, the 2.0, and then they have a 1.5 with bleeders on it.
Oh yeah,
and it's just, some of the pictures I've seen are just gnarly. It's like someone's throwing a hatchet through.
Yeah, right. It's a bloodbath, man. Oh my god. That's what you want. That's the point, I guess, of it, right? Like, it's what you dream of, is a nice blood trail right to the.
And even and just you know, when you're shooting them with your field points, if you don't have to do anything or next to nothing to sight them in, like, they're already shooting like bullets, right? Like, it's just what more do you want? So
how's the sound of those Severs, like through the air? Can you hear them at all, or is it pretty quiet?
Really. No, I think they're pretty quiet. Yeah. Like, I know some of the fixed blades that have the venting on them, they'll whistle a little bit.
Yeah, that's what the Cleaver did.
Okay. Yeah. These don't do that at all.
Oh, that's good, because I think some of those other mechanicals, like the Battle Axe, I think that Crimson had, the Battle Axe there. Yeah. I was shooting that, like, practicing with it, and it just always seemed like it was a little too loud. Like, you know, it's just
big front head on it.
That's the guy. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, wicked looking blade, and I just felt like I could just hear the blades wisp through the air a little bit more. And I was like, man, I don't know. It might be all right. You know, you're only talking 20, 30 yards that you're shooting an animal, at least for my situation.
Ridiculous. I put one of these through a bear, and it was like, I think it went like 10 feet. Like, it literally went, it was like a pinhole going in and just an absolute explosion on the other side.
Oh my God. Wow. That's good.
So they work too.
So they work. Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So So what happened?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your whitetail from this
Yeah.
year, or is that
Oh yeah.
sore subject?
No, I know. It hurts. It hurts, but no, it's good to talk about it, get off my chest. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So I got a doe tag for my area this year, and it's the first time I ever got one. And it's been a few years since I've gotten a deer, just with a bow for that matter. So I wasn't being too picky. I wasn't being like, I was more like, I need to fill the freezer. I need to get some meat. It's been a while. There's been opportunities and just kind of passed on some other smaller bucks from last year and stuff. And I was like, okay, I got a newborn this year in September. And so,
congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So I'm juggling that. Yeah, busy, right? So I was like, any sort of time I have out, any sort of opportunity at something that's relatively, legal, that's like decent size, I'm going to take a crack at it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, this doe presented herself, and I was getting towards the end of the season, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna shoot her. There was another doe that was also coming in. They had no idea I was there. I was 26 yards away, and they're just doing their thing. But I had to wait because like the way the does were set up, they're basically like stacked on top of each other. So I wanted to shoot the one that was behind the first doe. And so I guess maybe I made a little bit too much noise, or the other doe caught me while I was off guard, but she was really locked in on me. And anyways, I guess like while I was trying to get positioned, finally had a shot on the other doe, and I was like, okay, perfect. So I drew back, and the other doe that was more alerted on me, he was just staring right at me, not really stomping at all, nothing like that, just kind of staring at me. And so then when I took a shot, I didn't know this at the time, but when I took a shot, it sounded great. Fucking boom, just smokes this doe, and you could see her like crunch up. And I was like, okay, that looks like a good hit. Sounded good. Found my arrow after, and it was completely covered in blood. I'm like, all right, man, this doe's not going too far.
Done deal.
So I gave it, done deal. And so I gave it some time. I was like, just kind of like, I'm looking over my footage, but it's my phone. So there's only so much zoom you can go in before you can't see, just pixelated and stuff. So I was like, okay, it looks like a good shot. She dropped like, it was crazy. She like did the splits and she like dropped. I was like, okay, I think I still looked like a good shot based off of the arrow blood and everything. And then tracked her, saw some blood here and there for about 100 yards, saw some blood, it wasn't a crazy amount. I was like, that's odd. And then my buddy was with me, and we basically tracked her for like a kilometer. Like we went trekking, and blood stopped. And she even bed down because that was a good thing here. There was lots of snow, like fresh snow, so we could see exactly where she was walking. And yeah, she bed down. She chilled out for a bit, and there was nothing. So I don't know. I was like, yeah, that sucked. That should I have shot maybe a little bit lower, knowing that other doe was staring at me? Because I think so. What happened was when the sound of my arrow or the motion of my bow shooting, I think that first doe just left, like she got skittish and she got alerted and just started running away. And then that caused the other doe to react and to run. And by the time you can see it, like by the time my arrow makes a sound and hits the doe, she dropped like 1.5 feet. I was like, oh man. So I think I hit the top shoulder, like top of her shoulder, went right through the back. I think, I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sucked. Big time. Yeah. But it's the way it goes. I was hemming and hawing whether I should, just punch the tag, if I should go back out. And basically once I just kind of came to the realization, like shit happens, I'm not perfect. It's bow hunting. I think based off of all the stuff that I saw, I think she's still alive. So I'll take another crack at it. I had a couple more times I could go out, and I got busted by a buck on my last day, which just pretty funny. But yeah, he came in the one spot that I didn't even expect any sort of movement at all. It just came right behind me. I was like, oh,
yeah,
not supposed to be there.
I had that happen the first year I bought a grunt tube, and it came with the rattle bag, and I was in a tree stand, and I was on a property where there was an old railway line behind me, but they'd ripped all the tracks out, so it was all just a gravel road that people used to like go up and down on their ATVs and stuff. So I was kind of down in this little valley from the road, but when I'm in the tree stand, I'm basically level with, my head was level with where the road was.
Yeah.
So I'm blowing on this grunt tube, but don't know if I'm making a good sound or what. I'm just not, it's my first time. So all of a sudden, like not too long afterwards, I hear like this stomping sound behind me and like a snort wheeze, and I turn around and I just see a tail, the white of a tail flip up, and this buck just like takes off, and I was like, it works.
Holy shit. Yeah, this is awesome.
He's running away. Like, damn it. So yeah, it's they're smart, man.
They know. Yeah, especially like, I don't know, late in the season too. They're so pressured and so like skittish. Like I guess it depends on the area. It's so like my buddy, he lives in like kind of like the Huntsville, Muskoka area.
Yep.
And he's got deer in his backyard. He'll go throw out the garbage, and it's like he's 10 feet from a deer during hunting season. He's like, what the hell? Like this is stupid. But the deer are so accustomed to humans and like them being safe. I see a deer here at like 100 yards away, and I barely move my hand, and it's like, well, I'm out. See you later. Like, peace out. Like, how do you? It's like, I don't know. They're like different in a way. Like the more remote you go, but also I don't know. It's just whitetails, man. They're just so unique, all of them.
Yeah. There's it's we come back year after year, right? Because it's fun.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever put in for elk, even though the population is so small?
Yeah, I went on I was doing the same thing, like just moose, antlerless deer, and elk. I did that for a while. I don't know if I did it last year, but every now and then, if I'm feeling like optimistic, I could be like, yeah, sure, throw on the tag. I think it's like 0.2% chance of.
Yeah, I think there's like 3,000 people apply for 100 tags or something like that.
Yeah, but hey, someone's winning them. Someone's gonna do it.
Yeah,
never know. Yeah, how crazy would that be though? It's like
then you're off to bankrupt because that's where they all are.
It's like I think about that. Like what a season that would be if you got you got your buck tag, you got a moose, and you got an elk and bear. Like that's crazy. That'd be a crazy season, man.
That would be something else. Yeah,
that'd be epic. Yeah. Yeah. So do you apply for elk?
Oh yeah, I always do.
Yeah,
just because I give it a shot. But I went out to BC a couple years ago.
Yeah,
one of my wife's cousins lives out there, and he's a guide. He lives basically 17 hours north of Vancouver, so he's already pretty in like a remote community, and then we drove another 8 hours north of there.
Oh my god, dude, you were out there.
So just that drive alone, like I remember the night before we're loading up, like putting everything in his garage, and he's got a pickup with a sled deck on it. He's loading up all this gear, and he's got like 3 spare tires. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, what do we?
Where am I going?
He's like, you don't understand. He's like, the road we're going on, from the minute we get onto it, you will lose cell phone service, and it's another 8 to 10 hours north of there. So he's like, I've been stuck on this road, broken down for 17 hours before, and like everybody's got a CB radio in their truck because you have to call out. There's signs every few kilometers. You have to call out where you are, that you're in a pickup and you're going north or south, so that the logging trucks will move over because they're usually driving in the middle of the road.
Oh my gosh.
So we almost got smoked twice on the way up there.
Oh my god. Really?
And then you'll get to a bridge, and like he'd stop and he'd like, get that camera of yours out. I'm like, okay. And we just step out onto the bridge, and it's like a painting. Like it just looks unbelievable. And then we get up there, we're super remote, and we round this corner where we're gonna head in and camp, and like there's bison herd of bison is just running. I'm like, where are we? Like, this is crazy.
Like,
and then
like, I'm gonna be hunting here soon.
And
like,
at the time, I just wanted an elk tag, because I'm like, I don't want to go and shoot a bear and then have to deal with that, and then that takes away from there to shoot an elk, right? So I only got an elk tag, and of course, we roll into camp, and this enormous black bear just comes out of just curious, right? Like, what are we doing? No. I'm like, holy, because you could have shot it right there. We could have it hanging up on a pole by now.
Yeah. Could be eating bear meat for the week.
and in his town, there's bears like there'd be raccoons around here.
Really,
like they're everywhere. They're on your roof. They're trying to get into your garage. Like, when we were there, my daughter came through the garage, was coming through the garage to come outside, and she opened up the door from the house to the garage, and there was a bear in the garage going through the recycling bin.
Oh my God.
Like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So then we got up there, and one of his friends came with us, and he's like, have you ever seen a grizzly bear track? Do you know the difference between a grizzly bear track and a black bear? I'm like, no, I've never seen. I've seen black bear tracks, of course, but never seen a grizzly bear. And he goes, okay, you see this here, and you can see the pad, right? And he goes, that's a black bear. And he goes, you see this one here? And I'm like, yeah. And it looked the same, but then way up here, you could see where the claws were touching the dirt.
Oh,
he goes, that's a grizzly track. I was like,
oh my God.
Whoa.
Wow. That's a different type of freaking species, man.
We ran into a couple of them on that trip, and it was just like, holy, they're just monsters. They're so big.
Would you ever go hunting for grizz?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it there anymore, unfortunately. Hopefully that turns around, but I definitely would. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you saw the Donnie Vincent video with him bear hunting, and he's like 10 feet away, and oh my gosh, man. That would be crazy. Like the rush, everything like that. Just seeing them, like, it'd be wild.
And they've got no fear, right? They're just they know that they're the top dog. So
they're like, oh, I'm curious about what this is, and I'm probably gonna kill it. So what's up? Like, I've had lots of times where a black bear, like if I'm hunting bears. And I have like my path where I walk in. The bears will just kind of follow your scent right up, and they'll just like so curious. But then they kind of see, and you can make one little sound. You can be like, "Hey, bear," or something, and then they'll just take off. I've been like 5 feet from a bear, 10 feet, whatever. And I think if it's like, man, if that was a grizzly bear, I'd be dead.
Yeah,
like, there's no way that they would be like that. Like, I don't know.
I had a bit of an eye-opening experience a couple of years ago. I was on my brother and sister-in-law's property. And they're in 49, so they're just south of you. And they've got a 75-acre farm. And there's this one kind of pathway into the woods from their field that is just a highway. Like, everything uses this. Bears, coyotes, turkeys, everything, deer. So I set up a blind, and we set up some cameras. And I'm sitting in the blind. And the one day I'm up there, don't see anything. The next day, I'm sitting on the blind, and I start messing around with my phone. And I was responding to a picture that Aaron Snyder had posted. Something he had shot. I was like, oh yeah, great, nice deer or whatever. And I look up, and there's 4 bears, 16 yards in front of me. And I was just like, you idiot. I should have been paying more attention, right? Here I've gone years not seeing any bears. Now I have 4 of them in front of me.
Right in front of you.
2 of them are laying down in the tall grass, so it's hard to judge their size. And then there was a larger one that kind of peeked its head out and kind of looked in my direction and then backed away. And I'm like, oh, if that one comes back, that's a good size. Yeah. And then while I'm waiting for the other 2 to stand up, I can hear this sniffing and like pressing on the side of the blind. So one of the 4 had basically found me.
Yeah. So like, hey, he's in there.
Right?
Yeah. Like, found you.
Panic, right? I was just like, oh my God. And then, yeah, it was just it was an interesting situation. So your whole dynamic can change blink of an
Oh
eye,
man.
right? You could
Oh
sit there
yeah.
for a week and see nothing, and then you could mess around on your phone for a second and look up and
Yeah, there's
completely
4 bears
change.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild how like fast, you think like, I don't know, 5 minutes, how fast or how not fast, but how much distance, I guess, an animal can cover in 5 minutes. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot, like you're like, I don't know, if you're messing around with something, if you walk in 10 minutes before shooting light thinking like maybe I might have messed up my whole morning hunt, it's like, man, animals, they'll in 10 minutes they can cover a lot of distance, you
Yeah.
know
Especially
so
bears.
especially bears, and they always throw me off guard. Like they're always so quiet, and they're just like
For such a big
saunter
animal.
in, such a big animal. It's like, I don't even know where you came from, man. Like,
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to bait the spot near my cottage that I was hunting this year, and I parked and I get out and I see this cub like scamper across the road. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Where's your mom? Right. And then sure
yeah,
enough, out she comes, and she was pretty big. Her stomach was like dragging on the ground. And
wow,
I took it like a couple of side steps to try and get a better angle to take a look at her. And she was staring at me. Like she already knew I was there.
yeah,
She was probably about 50, 60 yards away. She's staring at me. And then she kind of ducks back to be back into the woods a little bit to have cover. So I took a few more steps to the side to kind of get a better angle. And she closed in about 30 feet closer coming to me. And I'm like, I'm getting back in the truck.
yeah.
I'm not going down the hill with a bag of bait on my back. I'll come and
Oh
check it
my,
later. Right.
yeah, absolutely, man. They are the sneakiest things. Like, so the bear that I had that YouTube video of, um, I first saw her coming in. I was like checking her out and like just kind of just observing, just hanging out. And then I guess I just made us, I don't know, move my foot or something like that, made a sound that she didn't recognize. So she started to like leave the area, but she started to come a little bit towards me, a little bit off to the right, and she just was like cruising this ridge line a little bit. And then so I was following her, and then she ended up like like I lost her behind me somewhere. I was like, and then I just lost her. Like I couldn't hear anywhere that she went. And I'm like looking, I guess directly away from the bait, and I was like, where the hell did she go? Trying to like, I was like, I don't want her to come like right up behind me. So I got my bow
Yeah.
knocked. I'm like looking around, and then I turned to see the bait, and she's making her way back in there. It's like I didn't even see her or hear her at all. Like it was insane how like quiet she was.
So quiet.
Yeah,
Is there
until
any is there any gear that you've used or found that you really like that you use every year after year?
year after year. Well, I like my rangefinder. That's for sure. Like year after year, it's a. Oh my god, how do I forget this? What's that company?
Vortex?
Vortex, that's it. Yeah, it's Vortex. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Vortex. It's just a simple like impact. I think it's like the 850.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah, it's great. It's been a couple of, like my previous rangefinder was simple as like a Tassimo type of rangefinder. Like, and I always found like right when it got to dusk, anything dark, it just wouldn't pick up at all. And this new Vortex one, yeah, it like boom, it can pick up anything, super accurate. Battery has lasted forever, so that's something that like year after year, I've had that now for maybe like 7 years or so, and haven't even changed the battery at all. Like it just actually lost 1 bar this year, and I've had it out in minus 20, minus 30 year after year, and they're fantastic.
Just goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that amazing lifetime warranty. Your dog eats it, they'll take it back.
Yeah, right. I know. It's like, man, maybe in like another year, I might just like smash it or something. Just call them up.
Sorry, we don't make that one anymore. We're gonna give you the next level up. I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that I like. I've been using on my sites. Actually my bow site. I've been using the Tommy Hog. I've been digging that too. Like pretty consistent and just like throw all the different weather aspects that's been thrown, hot, cold. just stays solid. So that's a piece that I don't think I don't see a need to swap it out, but yeah.
Yeah. And are you a thumb button guy? Are you a wrist strap guy? What kind of release are you using?
I'm using the knock on the silverback. That's what.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm using that one. Yeah. So
For
I was
hunting
using
too?
Yep. Yeah. So I'm using for that for hunting. Yeah, I don't know. I just have stuck with it, just liked it. I'm interested in trying the thumb button. It's just I always I have a budget, I guess, in mind when it comes to what is going to be allocated towards some hunting gear and everything. So
ridiculous how much.
Yeah, everything is insane. Crazy. So I would like to use a thumb button or at least try it, or a hinge, or just something just to give it a go. Yeah, but the good old silverback, man, that's what I use.
Can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah, no, it's great, man. I like it. It's I was using the wrist wrap and got some target panic. Kind of was
I think we all start there. Yeah.
Just was punching the trigger, was getting frustrated, and then obviously just doing some more research and diving deep into the archery world. And John Dudley talked about this release being the perfect gateway to curing target panic, and maybe going into a hinge or a thumb. And it's okay, cool, I'll get that and see where it goes. And honestly, I've just stuck with it. It's just comfortable for me.
Have you ever wanted to go down to any of the TAC events?
Oh, hell yeah. 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 They look so fun, man. I was up here, shooting your backyard targets and everything. That's fine. You can change it up. And I was doing some different stuff last year, shooting between trees. But, oh man, they look like a freaking hell of a time. You guys went last year, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go every year.
Yeah,
we got there on the Thursday to register, and we were shooting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we walk into the vendor village, and it was like you're a kid in a candy store. They have stuff there we will never get our hands on down here, right? And it's just oh my god! And then you can't believe all the things that you're looking at, and then you turn around the corner, and there's John Dudley standing there talking to somebody.
Unreal.
He'll just come up. He'll just come talk. You can just wait and talk to him. He doesn't. He's the same dude as he is on all his videos. He's the same guy.
That's so cool. I feel like I'd be so giddy. I don't know what I'd
do. A couple of us were starstruck a little bit.
Yeah, right. There he is. Holy shit!
Oh my god, that's Dudley. Hey, just wait. We're gonna talk to him, right? And so it was the end of the day, and he had a dinner planned with a veteran and his family. So he was like, I gotta go, but I want to talk to you guys. So are you gonna be? I said, oh, we'll come back tomorrow. So the next day we come back. We were shooting in the afternoon. So I had the camera and I'm filming everything, right? And then we get up to him and I'm like, can we just get a picture with you? The group of us. And he's like, yeah, get in here. So we all kind of come in, and I had it recording. So I just told his guy, just hold it up. Just hold the camera up. I'll just take a screenshot of the video or whatever, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
And he does this whole thing where he goes in and comes out. And Dudley, before he did that, he just looks at me. He's like, what's the camera for? And I said, oh, I have a YouTube channel called Caribou Media Outdoors. I do gear reviews and stuff. And we're making a video about it's our first time at a TAC event. I'm making a video about our experience here. He's like, oh, okay. And he turns to the camera and he just launches into this whole intro for our video. I was just like, what's happening right now? Right?
Yeah.
This is crazy. We just wanted a picture. He's such an awesome dude. Just so good.
That's wicked. Dud the stud, eh?
Yeah, but you could go it's funny. Some companies down there, they won't come with anything that you can buy. They might have some things on display that you can look at, and then you'd have to order through the website. But then there's other companies like SIG brought everything that they sell. And you know what? If you want to take these binoculars, go test them out for the day. They take your name, they take a picture of your ID or whatever. Those binoculars that have the image stabilization where you push a button and it just locks. One of the CJ got to take those out for the whole day.
Unreal.
And we're going. We were shooting for 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, you're gonna have to buy those when you go back. Like
Yeah, they're yours now.
This is a great marketing ploy. Like, you've just been wearing those for the last 5 hours.
Yeah.
Why? He's like, oh man,
that's super smart of them. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. Probably buy it.
It's crazy. It's so good. So after that, we just fell in love with it. And we're like, we got to come back here. The trick is, hopefully they're doing some adjustments to the website, because when you go register, like if we have a group of 4 or whatever, you have to log in each person separately. So if we say we want to do like the knock-on course, the loophole course, and the Rocky Mountain elk course or whatever, by the time you're on to the second person and plotting in the times, one of those courses will be sold out. So it's not, they almost need to do it like you're buying concert tickets, and you kind of get you have the next 9 minutes to fill out this form, and then you lose your spot, like something like that, because it was mighty frustrating.
Oh my gosh.
To get everybody on the same on the same
group like that. Oh my,
so
that would probably be.
Then we learned when we got there that you could literally walk on to any course as long as it was in the afternoon. You just come in the day of, you pay your money, and away you go.
Okay. All right. Well, shit.
Yeah. So
that was a little stressful.
Yeah. So we're going back to Pennsylvania again. So it's going to be wicked. And then if you do go, or if people that want to go, just there's Airbnbs and like different rental properties all around that ski hill. The trick is you have to get on it like by March. Because they'll start filling up by April. They'll be gone, right? Like that's
insane. That thing has blown up, like last few years too. Like it just so much archery stuff has like exploded.
Oh yeah, and to think it was just an idea. Sean DeGray had an idea, told some people about it, and then he started it in a couple of states. And I think there's probably going to be 1 or 2 Canadian dates, but
I was wondering. I was like, they gotta
not here though. I asked
of course.
I'm like, is there going to be anything in Ontario? They're like, not this year. So I'm thinking probably Alberta, somewhere out west, right? They'll probably
similar sort of landscapes to the States, I guess. Like, well, plus like more terrain. They got big ass mountains.
Yeah, but it's wild. Like the shots are just like the first shot on the knock-on course. Like you take the ski lift up to the top of the hill, then you get on a shuttle bus that drives you to this airplane landing strip. Wow. And you get out and you walk up to the first cone and you're like, where's the target? And you're looking, it's like 93 yards. There's like the green Sasquatch, right? It's like, this is the first target.
First one, eh? Okay.
Here we go. Dial it up.
Arrows. Holy.
So.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be fun. I hope to get down there. Try it out 1 year for sure. I just think, I think it's fun. It's just like, obviously test your equipment and everything, but it's just more like, the atmosphere, the camaraderie that you go down with.
It's great. Yeah. It's a great time. It's also great practice because you're in the environment that you're going to be hunting in, basically, right? So it's just like extra practice. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. Oh man.
Anyway, we'll end up talking till 3 a.m, but let everybody know where they can find you.
Ooh, yeah. Well, you can find me Outdoors Dan, Instagram, YouTube. I don't really post much on Facebook. But that's pretty much the two, is Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for some big fun projects.
Anything planned for this year that you can talk about?
Well, I got the PSC Mach 33 bow build coming up.
Yep.
And then as far as that, no, not too much, I guess. Not too many crazy plans. Just gonna try to do some actually we're gonna try to do some more small game, some rabbit hunting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this winter. So I'm trying to write an article on that. So yeah, that's pretty much.
You still doing the maple syrup?
Yeah. So I've done that
good.
a few years. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again this year because we just bought some maple syrup from the grocery store, and it was like $20 for half a liter or something. Like, oh my god! So anyway, it's just fun. So we'll fire that up and do some maple syrup stuff. We maybe do a pig roast.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law did it, and it had like this smoky campfire taste to it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work though.
Oh yeah, it's like a 40-to-1 ratio, so it's like you gotta get a lot, you get a little bit of it, but it's just like chugging that stuff. It's so good. It's like it is candy, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, take a shot. All right, we're
good to go. Good to go for the day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll have to have you on again at some point, but maybe get a recap mid-season or something. That'd be good.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, anytime. We'll see you later.